Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the UNID hardware. This is their part number HP800. This is a hinge pin style door stop is what it is. The HP800 is a piece of equipment that is used to stop the door. When the door gets into an open position, this will work to limit the movement of the door. So what happens is, the summary is that the hinge pin is removed from one of the hinges, generally the top hinge. I've also seen it installed at the bottom as well. I can't really say one word over another in terms of where I would install it. I would probably likely put it at the top. Less possibility of it making contact with things. If you have a home with a hallway and you've got a coat closet and that door swings out into the hallway, you'd probably want that hardware up higher rather than down lower, I would think. Prevent any sort of walking through the hallway and making unintentional contact with it, I would think, is where you'd want to be on that. So the pin is removed from the hinge. It's dropped down through this bushing and then placed back into the hinge. And what happens is, when the door is opened, the door will make contact with one of these rubber bumpers. And as the door makes contact with it and pushes that rubber bumper, the other rubber bumper is eventually going to make contact with the casing of the frame, is generally what's going to happen. Generally, a hinge pin door stop is going to limit the door within a range of like 70 degree to about 100 degree or 110 degree maybe. And you control that by literally loosening the screw and the nut that's here and having that unit position itself with the little dimple that's on the back side into one of these holes, and that will keep it in a nice fixed position for you. Okay, and when you're done, you of course just tighten that up and it will stay in that position. And so in your mind's eye, the door comes and opens and your casing is over here. That door will push that to the point where it will make contact with the casing, then the door stops. So here's a real example. If my palm is literally going to represent the casing and my hand will represent the door is going to stop right here at this point. A very common piece of equipment, a hinge pin door stop. You will very routinely see these installed in residential applications, generally as a means by which to stop the door when no other means are really readily available. Meaning, you have a door that opens into a situation and there's nowhere to attach a stop. There's no baseboard. It's not appropriate to put it on the floor. An application would be a bathroom door, right-hand door, swings in. You enter the bathroom. You go in, you close the door behind you. Well, right over here, there's a couple of bypassing louver doors where towels are kept. Okay, don't want to put anything on the floor. Okay, you have no baseboard, so tossing a hinge pin door stop up at the top hinge or even at the bottom hinge in that position really wouldn't matter. You have no, movement through the hallway in that scenario. Would be a somewhat, would be a reasonable way to do it. Now, I'm not a fan of hinge pin door stops at all because there is proper hardware for stopping the door in that sort of scenario when another means of stop cannot be provided. It's called an overhead door stop. The downside of those is that they are certainly noticeably more expensive. They're, $75 or sometimes a little less, but never less. And these are just a few dollars. The overhead stops are, to make them elegant, they need to be mortised to make them concealed. That's quite costly and sometimes not even permissible into a door and frame application. So when someone's building a home, it is common to supply that client with either solid baseboard stops or spring-style baseboard stops, and then a handful of hinge pin, because the builder's going to know, yeah, I'm not going to be able to install, my baseboard stop in that bathroom door because it opens up into a bypass closet, basically. So the question that we always get is, what size of pin can I insert into it? And that's really a question of what's the inside diameter of the rigid plastic bushing that's here. And I have clients that have installed these even into commercial hinge applications, which of course I don't suggest. The ID of the bushing itself is 0.235. So if you have a residential hinge, 0.235 is the ID. If you have a residential hinge, 4x4, 3.5, 3.5, that's about 90 thousandths thick. That pin's going to fit right in. That pin's probably going to be about 0.2 inch, 0.187 inch, something in that range. Some people will remove that bumper, that bushing altogether, and they'll insert it into the plate itself. Well, that ID is 0.318, so it's basically 5/16. I've even had some people slightly drill that out to make it even wider. It's really the wrong equipment for any door application other than an extremely light door, because what happens is you've got the force of the door pushing. I've seen doors open so severely that they have literally, when made contact with the casing, have either ruptured the face of the door from all of that pressure on the face of the door, or because your lever is the axis of the vertical axis of pivoting, pushed so hard, this wants to go in this direction, this is being pushed against the casing, and it has literally taken the casing and worked it off the door, pulling the nails out. While that's relatively rare, it does happen. So be mindful if you're going to install a hinge pin style a hinge pin type doorstop from anyone. Be mindful that it needs to be absolutely adult used, and not that kids can't use these doors, but you might have literally an 80-pound dog that might get up on the door and then push it. That sort of scenario is certainly going to exceed what the hinge pin style doorstop is intended for. So the HP800 and I'm looking on a screen here, from You Need Hardware is available in polished brass, US 3, US 5 antique brass, US 10B oil rub bronze, this is not it, a US 15 for satin nickel, that's their 015, 619 that is, 620 antique nickel, 622, which is black, the matte black we have here, 626 for satin chrome, and that's it. You can buy replacement bumpers. That would be an HP800-RUB. Those are currently available in either white or black. If you want black bumpers on this, you'll have to buy them separately because they're going to otherwise ship with the standard white bumper. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the You Need Hardware products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the HP800 in a US 19 black finish, or their 622, or any other You Need Hardware product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.